What up, people? Happy Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. Nothing too lengthy or crazy here. I just wanted to drop in a little preview of this UFC tomorrow, which I got to figure out. And this is just my own life problems, but I got to work. So I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to watch this pay per view. And I don't think I could watch it belated. So if you have any ideas on how to multitask with that, let me know. I haven't figured that out just yet. But I'm so pumped for this. I'm not going to do the accent, or at least if I do it, it'll do it pretty terribly. But come on, Leon, you got to pull it out of the fire. Come on, son. I mean, that corner job in the last Edwards and Usman fight, and that whole scene. And the dude's name already, his nickname, his moniker is Rocky. Then they're playing the Rocky music afterwards. If you're an MMA fan, like I've been, combat sports fan for a couple of decades, you're a fan for a couple of minutes. That thing is nuts. If you don't know about this fight, you're a baseball fan watching this, go look up. There's like a million different videos and documentaries and write-ups and all sorts of stuff you can find on YouTube or on the internet on this story behind Leon Edwards and what he did in this last fight, which probably is a top 10 moment in the history of title fights in the UFC. Now the bad news. I've been on kind of a roll predicting these, and I think I'm at least 3, if not 4, for my last 4 right here, which I've laid out all these previews. And I'm going to go 5 for 5, and it's going to be Usman getting the win. The only thing that keeps me away from feeling like ultra, and I'm not a bettor, but ultra confident, where I would say, hey, look, put some money down on it, even though he's the favorite, is that, he's been revealing little by little that he was injured in the last fight. There was talk about him with knee injuries and a hand injury, and I kind of get that feeling that he's been hiding a little something in terms of how banged up he is, and he's 35 years old. And we've seen too many of these, TJ Dillashaw situations, Conor McGregor before his leg, where, guys have injuries coming into the octagon that we don't know about. And thank God I'm not a betting man, but, that turns that tide. Assuming that we don't hear about some injury that he's been hiding trying to get this payday, I think Kamaru Usman going to win this fight. Why? Because in the last 2 times that they fought each other, he's won, all but 37 to 39 minutes? Or something like that. Yeah, Leon got the takedown in round 1 of the last fight. But to say that the entirety of the rest of the fight after round 1, before that one kick in round 5 with 1:20 to go, was all because of altitude, it's kind of a cop-out. Now, look, even working in altitude and being in that area and covering sports, and I've done that, you feel it. I mean, you feel it even if you go to the gym in the morning, you feel it. So it's a real thing. But Leon was out there a couple of weeks in advance, and he looked good in the first round, and then he still came out with that kick and had enough energy to do that. He seemed to kind of lose his confidence more than I think he lost his stamina. He seemed to kind of have his will taken from him, from an Usman who he knew all throughout the first fight and then through most of that second one was taking his will by having his weight put on him the way Kamaru does to pretty much everybody. And, even though it's been lay and pray at times and people don't like that, this guy wrestles, he gets you in the clinch, he get a hold of you, and he's not letting you go. You may get back up, but you're going back down. As we saw in this last fight with Merab, you keep doing that, you're going to exhaust dudes. Doesn't matter whether you keep them down all the time like Khabib did and TKO him on the ground with ground and pound. I don't think Kamaru is going to finish Leon. I think it'll be a decision, but something that stood out to me in the last couple of days in terms of interviews is how many times Kamaru has mentioned the violent feeling he has and the different feeling he's got now than what he's had in the past. And he mentioned that fight with Masvidal, which was, to me, as impressive a finish as he's had in his career, and he was pissed off. He mentioned the Colby fight, and probably the second most impressive finish he had, and he was pissed off. And for me, that may be a difference maker. But I'm going to take Kamaru Usman, I think, a lot of the same. I think the story after this fight is going to be, hey, look, it kind of was pretty much the same as what we saw the last couple. I don't think Usman's the kind of guy who's going to break under the pressure like Ciryl Gane did, let's say, in the last fight. I don't think he's going to break because he's coming out first. It didn't matter when he fought Tyron Woodley and beat the crap out of him when Woodley was the champion, the favorite of that fight. I don't think that he's going to be, annoyed by the crowd or care that everybody cheering for Leon Edwards. I think, if anything, it may kind of motivate him to shut that crowd up. Like a lot of stars do get that motivation, whether they're taking a three-point, shot and Steph Curry giving you the shush or waving goodbye as your Dame Lillard or whoever. I mean, Kamaru Usman been that dude. I mean, he's a star. And even though I think there's a chance that a guy like Khamzat Chimaev, if that's next, could give Usman trouble. And even though I know that Leon's got a chance to win this fight, and even though I love the story, and I hate the fact that that headshot, bang dead, and all that kind of be put away outside of being a great moment once Usman wins that fight, I got to go chalk on this, and I think Usman going to win this fight. I wouldn't be surprised if it was, it's probably 49-46, if not 50-45. I think he's going to be impressive. I think he's going to lay his weight on him. I think he's going to avoid the big shot, and I think he's going to win this fight. I hope I'm wrong, even though I like Usman. I do. He's a classy dude. I like him. Good fighter. I'm rooting for Leon, but I just don't think so. Just shortly into co-main, that one's a little bit tougher. I know everybody said this, but this really does come down to whether or not Justin Gaethje wants to actually use this wrestling, because Fiziev is a dude. I mean, his kicks are nasty. This guy's speed is nasty. Weaponry nasty, and if you stay in the pocket, I think he'll piece you up more than a Michael Chandler did. I think he's more dangerous than a Michael Chandler. I think if he fights that way, Gaethje's going to lose this fight, maybe get caught with kicks. I think, can he wrestle? Can he take Fiziev's legs out with those leg kicks that Gaethje's known for? Kind of slow him down a little bit. This one's a tough fight. I think Fiziev's going to figure out a way to win it. He's a dangerous dude. But again, I hope I'm wrong about this one, because in this case, I'm rooting for Usman's teammate in Gaethje, the human highlight. You can always get the highlights and everything else on all sports, conversations, interviews, and more right here at Unfiltered. Enjoy. Have a great weekend, people.